Hello, welcome back to another Onkruid video. As you can see, oh no, you can't see it, it doesn't record because it's in the Steam overlay, but Steam achievements have now been added to the game. They existed for a while, but a lot of people couldn't get them, and now me and my buddy Coolkid or Berglucht, I know that he also got them. Unedited Soulstone Survivors episode 13, 14, maybe something like that. As promised, we're playing with the Pyromancer today to try and get him up to prestige level 30 as well. And we completed Curse level 3 on the first map last time around. So now we will go for Curse level 3 on the second map. Might be a bit repetitive, but as you know, we're completing everything. I don't even know if I can actually achieve everything within 100 episodes, you know? Because there's still a whole lot of endless mode shit to do for me as well, and those videos probably take a while longer to record and stuff, so it's gonna be a balancing act. I'm gonna have to look at whether I can achieve every single thing in the game in that time span of 100 episodes. Things to worry about in the future though. For now, everything we need to worry about is these little goblins surrounding us right here. And then also whether we are going to be able to complete this run where, if you weren't here last time, 2 lords now spawn at once. So it's definitely quite a difficult way of playing the game. I presume we're gonna have to probably stick with some defensive upgrades sometimes as well. And another interesting thing that they changed in the game lately, by the way, is the new endless mode. There are 2 endless modes now. Ooh, Firewall is great for some AoE clear. There are 2 endless modes, one that really focuses on endless and one that focuses more on the bosses and killing a whole bunch of bosses at once. And you can only get them, you can only get the option to go into endless mode if you, I think, complete the regular run in 14 minutes or less, or at least that's what I think. Maybe Fire Shield not the best option there, but I like to have some defensive materials, and those Fire Shields are a great combination of defense and offense, of course. I don't know if the Pyromancer is gonna be the best pick to achieve these higher curse levels, because I feel it takes a while to get up to speed, you know. Some of its benefits are, I think, a larger area, and I think that's going to be very nice for the late game potentially, but I think in the early game you're better off with something like a Houndmaster or something that can immediately clear out a bunch of the enemies, because you can see that we are now already being swarmed a little bit. What kind of build are we actually going? I feel like we've been going poison for a while. We've just gone arcane, I think. I don't really like that claw. Are we gonna go for a nice fire build again? We've definitely done fire builds before, but it's gonna be nice and straightforward, and fire builds have the potency to have some high damage, so let's just try and go for it, shall we? Fire build. Straightforward, but effective. That's how we like our builds over here. Damn. Getting hit once definitely deals a lot of damage already. These difficulties are no joke anymore. I was complaining all the time about how easy everything was and stuff, but it's not anymore, I can tell you that much. The slows are also something we definitely want to pick up now, because we can use it when we are kiting enemies, and especially also the lords. And then I think, sure, I think I'm gonna go for the defensive option. I'll go for Chaos Golems for now, but I'll try to replace them later. I think that, Fatal Strikes, what do we have for runes, by the way? Oh, Arcane, Electric, and Holy, so maybe we shouldn't be going Fire after all. I haven't upgraded these skills yet, so I can still go whatever I want, but maybe going... Let's, you know what? I'm gonna switch it up. Let's try and go Holy, if we can. No, we're not taking that. We want to go Holy. Holy, and let's still keep Void in there, because I love some crowd control actions, and because I wanted to pick that upgrade for Void already. So we're gonna go with the Holy Void, which is kind of what religion has come to lately. Ooh, that's deep. A Holy Void, right? Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought my revive was popped there for a second already. We'll go Call Lightning for now, but I don't see many holy things so far, which is also exactly what religion is about lately. A bit of a critical standpoint by me when it comes to religion. Oh, or are we just gonna go fire? Because this is a nice upgrade. We're gonna go fire. Disregard everything I just said. I'm quite critical concerning religion and religious practices. We've talked about this before. I'm not really an atheist. I'm an agnostic. I don't really know what to believe or whatever. But either way, I don't condone the practices that the Catholic Church have committed lately. I think that it's kind of it's been slipping out of the limelight a little bit. Not many people are paying that much attention to it anymore but I am of course talking about the child molestation, for example. And there's also these people in America, these private pastors, these private members of the clergy, or however you call it, that just get paid boatloads of money. They have their private jets and stuff, and they are literally just using people that try to believe and try to get some meaning in life from their faith, which is, I think, just absolutely disgusting, of course. Not great at all. How is our build going so far? I mean, I guess it's quite potent. We're clearing these bosses out not as slowly as I would have expected. Let's go for resilient, increase my armor power. I think that now we will be tanky enough to warrant us from now on going full damage. We've taken quite some. We don't really see anything holy. We do see a thunder strike, but I don't really want that. We don't see anything fire as well. Go for fateful strikes. There we go, one boss down already. Collect all the experience on the map. Merciless, venomous. We haven't gotten a poison application yet, and now we have. And there we go, the second boss down as well. Multicast for the flame wave, we love to see that. Attack speed for the firebolt, sure. For now, I think we're doing a-okay. We're doing fine. I see some enemies dropping to the floor immediately sometimes, so I think we have some potent abilities right here. Beautiful. How have you guys been doing? I've been doing amazing. I was just telling my girlfriend this yesterday when we were in bed and still talking a little bit. Meteor shower. Let's replace the lightning if we can. That I am in quite a good space in my life right now. I've also talked about this in the last crosscode episode. That yeah, I'm quite happy with where my life is headed right now, in the directions we are going. And a big part of it is, of course, me trying to achieve 100 episodes in Soulstone Survivors, because I really enjoy this series. And also just like me starting 2 jobs, finally getting some financial stability. Me seemingly being very much accepted into the new job already. They have already been inviting me for their after work parties and stuff like that. My hobbies, the quiz and stuff, everything going fine. My knowledge keeps on expanding, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. This morning, for example, I spent I can banish them now. I spent a large part of my time reading a chapter in one of the course material books that I had from my education at university about diagnostic research, and it was about diagnostic research in ADHD in adults, or diagnostic research into ADHD in adults rather, because it's a topic that I definitely have no experience with so far, but I will have to have experience with at my workplace right now. At the first workplace, though at the second workplace I think they are a bit less focused on diagnostic research, but still it's nice knowledge to have, because it's a problem, or well, a disorder that comes up quite often. I wouldn't call it a problem, that sounds stigmatizing. It's something you can definitely learn to deal with and stuff. But either way, it was a very interesting chapter. Learned a lot from that. For example, that it is very important to ask whether there is a family history of ADHD potentially. It's a disorder with a high degree of heritability, which means that a lot of the variety, or a lot of the variance, I don't know if that's a correct English word, either way, a lot can be explained by genes in most people. So you definitely need to look at the family history and whether a bunch of other people have ADHD or symptoms like that, because then it might be a genetic cause. But as it is with everything in psychopathology, it's always nature in interaction with nurture, so you can't attribute everything just to genes. What else? That the symptoms can, for example, be externalized differently in children and in adults, of course. In children, for example, it's about an ADHD symptom can be not being that great at doing schoolwork, at planning all your homework, at keeping all things in check when it comes to school. When you're an adult, it's way more about work, for example, or about administrative tasks and paying bills and stuff. That can be problematic when you're an adult with ADHD. And those are all things you have to keep in mind when you are asking questions to an adult compared to asking questions to a child. Also, for example, in traffic, being people with ADHD are more prone to having accidents in traffic and asking people about their driving behaviors and stuff. That's also something you won't do with children necessarily, but you need to keep that in mind when you're interviewing adults to see if they might have ADHD. Made quick work of both bosses quickly enough, and the new bosses are almost spawned already. This is definitely a more active mode as well. Because it's harder, the fights feel more impactful because the lords are in a larger number on the screen and they also die less quickly or slowly, as the lay people would say it. But it's an interesting topic, ADHD, and I'm not only talking about the Kendrick Lamar song, because that's an absolute banger, one of his lesser known songs probably, but it's quite a good one. But I'm talking about the illness, the disorder, the developmental disorder, ADHD, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. It's something that I never really imagined I would have to get into all that often, because I, of course, as many people do, associate it almost purely with children, but it definitely persists into adult age. There is some remission though, and there are actually even 3 kinds of remission. That's also something the chapter in the book talked about. There's syndromal remission, which means that the people recover to a point, or their symptoms in their life are diminished to a point where they don't actually, where the diagnostic label of ADHD doesn't actually apply to them anymore. They don't have enough characteristics anymore to be considered as suffering from ADHD according to the DSM-5, the Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. There's also symptomal remission, which means that they just have less symptoms and the symptoms impact them less. And then there's functional remission, where they have less symptoms and the impact on their daily life and on their tasks that they have to do in daily life is also lessened. Very, very interesting stuff. And also hopeful stuff, you know. It's not a problem that you necessarily suffer from for the rest of your life. It can definitely, it can get better after a while, those ADHD symptoms. It's something you learn to take into account in your daily life as well, you know. You learn to, ask help with planning your agenda and stuff. You learn to put some more time aside to do planning and all that organizational stuff. Because you learn to cope with it. You learn to cope with your specific pattern of symptoms. And I think it's beautiful. And I think it's something that we can definitely help. Medication is, of course, also a very big factor in ADHD. There's a very well-known form of medication. In Dutch, it's called Rilatine. I don't know the correct English term. But it's a very potent, very efficient medicational medicine most of the time. But it also has some side effects. For example, irritability, I think, is a large one. And I think potentially also something about eating. But as I said, ADHD is not a disorder I have that much experience with. So it's definitely all a learning experience for me still. And why did I look all of that up? It is because we have an intake conversation planned today with somebody who wants to he wants his ADHD or his potential ADHD to get looked into. Does he actually have it now, or is he just suffering from attentional deficits because of other reasons? For example, people with a depressive disorder also often have concentration difficulties, memory difficulties, all that stuff. So differential diagnostics is an important factor of diagnostical research, where you make sure that you are able to tell the people that, it's not this, but it is actually ADHD, you know. You have to be careful for confirmation bias, where you from the start think like this person is gonna have ADHD, and you then only look into things that then confirm that way of looking at it. But no, it could also be depressive disorder. It could also be just problems with their intelligence that impede their concentration and attention and functionality. So diagnostic research is definitely a hard factor of our work for your mind, because you need to be thinking about so many things at once. What I'm thinking about right now, and what I'm worrying about, is about this run. That Fire Lord, of which we are fighting just one. I thought we were fighting 2, but I think he is the strongest one out there. Or at least he does the most amount of damage, and he is the hardest to dodge. And for now, my solution is to just roam around them a little bit and stay away from the lords, but that will mean that we will come closer and closer to having 6 lords on the screen at once, and it will not make things easier in the slightest. Let's just go for a quick run through here, try and apply some debuffs, and then get back out of there. Flamethrower, I'm afraid it's a bit too late for that right now. Let's go for some areas so that we can hopefully hit them from a bit further away even. Some healing crystals are also very, very much welcome, because we are definitely in a pickle here. Maybe we should have gotten one more defensive upgrade, but right now... you know what I wonder? I wonder why there is not a legendary upgrade that gives you an extra death protection. I think that's definitely something that can be added in the future still. There's 2 of those fire guys, right? Yeah, I knew I saw it. That's not nice. That's not nice at all. That's gonna be probably impossible. This might be the first loss we suffer in a while, actually. Normally we always get all victories here on the Soulstone Survivors front of things, but I think we're gonna have to accept that with these more difficult cursed difficulties, not every run is gonna be a victory all the time. Get some nice damage in there on the fire guys, but get out of their flamethrower range as soon as possible. One boss died. The zombie boss from Old School RuneScape died. Let's wait for their flamethrower to run out and then move in. Hopefully our combustion can just apply a little bit of stacks. We missed the fucking gem to get all the experience from the map. There we go. Multicast, sure. At least leveling up heals us a little bit, and one of the bosses is almost dead, but I feel like we're gonna be up to 5 bosses before we clear all of them out, actually. Let's see, come on, Mr. Ice Boss, it's you and me. Applying some nice damage over here. Hopefully he's standing inside the firewall, but I see the burn stacks stacking up, so I think he is. Is it gonna be enough debuffs to actually put an end to him? I don't think so, but we did get some nice damage in there at least. And we haven't taken damage ourselves for a while, so our dodging is being efficient. It's being okay. Beautiful stuff. There's a bunch of elites roaming the grounds here as well, so that doesn't make it easier in the slightest. And now the spiders are here, which slow us down with their cobwebs, and that's gonna make it even harder. Our firewall needs to spawn in the middle of all those enemies, I think, to really make a dent in their forces, because right now we are just in a whole bunch of trouble, I can tell you that much. Don't want to be in that, but I was in that. Nope, 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 no, no, nope. No, thank you. Don't need that. Don't want that. This guy. Just let the ice boss die at least. Come on, please. The fire bosses still have so much health, and we are almost spawning the new lords as well. It's gonna be difficult. We might have to change up our game plan a little bit. Maybe unlock some of the different runes first before we can actually achieve these curse difficulties. Alright, 1 lord down, 2 to go. And it's the 2 most damaging ones. Some damage in there, some debuff application. That's nice. No, come on, we want something very potent. We need a strong upgrade. I think armor power is nice for now. We definitely need some defensive upgrades. When their flamethrower runs out, we need to dash in there and try to apply a bunch of negative afflictions to all the people over here. All these elites as well. Oh, the flamethrower. It's a lot of experience. Come on. I'm focusing up a little bit. That's why you might hear me talk a little bit less. But it has to be done, you know. If we want to get out of this run unscathed, we're gonna have to focus up for a second, because otherwise it's not gonna work out. Now we're in a prime position, because that flamethrowers move around slowly, so we're really applying a whole bunch of negative stacks, I think, to the bosses right here. Alright, maybe this is the approach. Not go too far away from them, but actually just rotate around them, because we are quicker than their attacks can actually rotate. Beautiful stuff right here. Some nice movements. Let's go for the damage increase on the meteor rain. Their health bars are still looking quite healthy though, although they are both halfway. Keep moving ahead of the flamethrower. Hope they are not too out of sync, because then we will have 2 flamethrowers to dodge, and that's not gonna work out. They definitely have a bunch of negative stacks applied to them, but not enough to make the darkness proc, for example, and get them one-shotted. No. Alright, easy to dodge flamethrowers. There's definitely some action going on here, right? It's high octane content. I need something strong. I need an amazing upgrade. Leviathan would be nice, but we can't afford that speed downgrade, so we definitely need to pick up this upgrade instead. And now we're in trouble. At least there is no extra Fire Lord. Huh. Alright. It's quite sad that we didn't get to level 30. I might do that off camera real quickly, but thanks a lot for watching. We just got blasted through the stratosphere. We just got a one shot. Holy shit. Alright. Well, what's still applying debuffs to them? Something is definitely still hitting them. Either way, thanks all for watching. I'll see you in the next one, I guess. Did that give us a new rune? I did notice that we got this right. Increases all damage you deal by 40%, but decreases the area of your skills by 20%. Alright, so this is something for when you want to go a projectile build, probably. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I guess that's it. See you in the next one, or hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. A bit of an anticlimactic ending, but bye-bye.